Here we go. Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're well on this Sunday morning. It's Sunday, the day of rest. Are you resting? I hope you are. You look amazing, so you must be. But if you're not, you still look amazing, so well done. I'm not resting. It's about 9:20 in the morning. And a lot of you reached out to me yesterday because we saw that Jay Slater's dad, Warren Slater, had indeed posted a video onto his TikTok account. It's definitely his, it's definitely him. And yeah, we're going to look at it now and go through it together and see what we think. Now, I was on TikTok. Some of you may have remembered that I had a TikTok account back when the Kylie Rodney case was live. I had a video that went viral on there, and the account just got too big and I couldn't handle it. And I deleted it and come off the platform. I've gone back on there purely to see what's being said. A lot of you said, look, you need to get back onto TikTok. So I am, for now. Whether I'll stay on there, who knows. But I had Luggy come across. He came across and pointed out how few followers that I had and how few comments I'd had, laughing faces. This is a private message, a public message to Luggy. Fuck off. Anyway, so we crack on. So, here we go. I've had to turn the sound down. There's an awesome soundtrack that goes with this. If you haven't seen it, yeah, it's brilliant. Bit of Faithless for you. But here we go. So this is Warren Slater. Hold on. That would help if I put it up on the screen, wouldn't it? So we do that. We will stop it in little segments as we go. Because this is something that was pointed out by Wax, right? And the thing what I think is bugging a lot of people, let me just come back up on here, is that this was Jay Slater's first time abroad on his own without his family. Now, the only what you would call, I suppose, proof of life for the period that we're kind of feeling is the definitive time, the time that, you know, is important in terms of the investigative element of what happened to Jay. There is none. There is none, and yeah, we have absolutely no proof that Jay was not only compos mentis, but was he actually alive beyond being seen by the young lady at the party who would suggest that he looked worse for wear, he didn't look great, and she had offered him water, which that story in itself completely rarely contradicts what we're being told by the people who were out with Jay, that would suggest that they were the ones who were potentially worse for wear. They'd had enough. You know, Lucy had said that she was tired and wanted to go home, and Jay was raring to go. You know, he was like, "Nah, I ain't going. I'm fucking staying out." Which again is massively contradicted by an outsider, if you like, someone not part of the Jay Slaters version of the Tapper Seven. Yeah, they're saying he was still up and buzzing and not willing to give the night in, suggesting that he even wanted to go on and party with Bullwinkle and Rocky and Bullwinkle. Anyway, so we crack on. So here we go. There's some pictures of the area. You'd think, like, why would Jay have not taken, like, a picture of himself with that backdrop? You know, when you go away and you're abroad and you're in an area of this, what you don't get in the UK, you don't get shit like this in the UK. There's that infamous white car. The infamous white car. Interesting that Warren's picked up on that and taken a picture of that car. You know, showing, I suppose, the descent off the track. But you'd have to be... just don't get it. There's obviously the road. Now, this is an element that Wax had picked up on. And what we're doing here is we're looking at Brad sitting by the wall on the road, which it's speculated that it's quite possible that this is the area that they're saying Jay would have gone off-road. and had heard him sort of walking on the stone. So is he suggesting, he's come off the road here? You first of all got to ask yourself why he'd have gone off the road in the first place. Why would he have gone off the road in the first place when the road provided what we've heard the phrase over and over again, the the least resistance? The road is the path of least resistance. Absolutely, it's the safest. It's the most direct. It's the part that offers the most opportunity to shorten your journey. You might see a car, you might see a bus, you might be able to hitch a lift. You would have even been able to say to Lucy or Brad, do you know what? I'm going to start walking back. I'm going to start walking along the road. If you guys send me a taxi or jump in a car, we heard that Lucy, she never fucking walks anywhere. So she's going to, can I get a lift? I've got to go and pick Jay up. Jay's going to be walking towards us on the road. That's the thing, isn't it? You know what? If you've gone out there and you're Jay, I'd be thinking if I'd gone out here with my friends, my mentality would be, well, they'll come and get me. I'll just walk along the road and they can send a car. Even if they can't send a car for an hour or two, I'll just keep walking on the road, and I'll be heading towards you. If you just send a car up to me, come and get me, come pick me up, I'll just be on the road somewhere. So you haven't got to come all the way. I'll be making my way back down to you. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. It's like turning the lift down. That doesn't make sense. Because ultimately, at the point where he is sort of the lift conversation comes up, surely he's of a mindset, right, a lift is going, I'm going to have to wait for a lift, but the walk is going to be longer. It just doesn't make sense anyway. But we're talking about these shoes, which are these Nike shoes, which appear to be different than the shoes that Jay Slater was wearing, the TNs, but appear to be the same trainers that you can see poking out the bottom of the infamous red blanket shot, which I cannot dispute that. I cannot dispute it. I have heard that some people have said that Jay also had a pair of these the same, that they were, in fact, despite Jay having a pair of TNs, he also had a pair of these Nikes here, the same as that. Now, what truth there is to that, I don't know, because I've not seen any evidence that he does, other than the aforementioned blanket photograph, that would then suggest that he's either got Brad's shoes on or they do indeed have matching shoes, because they certainly ain't the shoes that Jay Slater was wearing in that picture. Anyway, I digress. Let's continue. So again, that huge backdrop. Got a shot there. Now this is some little house that they come to, and we're going to see inside that in a second. Now this here, obviously Brad's mum, who has been on the ball all the time. Some people have speculated, is she indeed controlling things? Is she getting there? I've had some people who have said that, she was blocking posts that were going onto one of the Facebook pages. Obviously, the difficult thing is with that, and you have to be fair, that is their job. Their job is to moderate what's coming on there. So if she is a moderator and she has a post come in that is suggestive that her son has done something nefarious, then she's going to be a fucking stupid idiot to let that post go live, irrelevant of how we feel about it. It is that, isn't it? There you go. But inside here, what the interesting thing is someone really likes PG Tips tea, which is what these boxes strewn everywhere in this building are. Now, this would suggest that whoever was in this place was British. Now, whether this was a search station, we're going to go on to see a load of water bottles, whether they had a heating component in here and they were heating up making people tea, I do not know, which is a little bit of an odd drink when you're sort of out searching. Surely that would be, especially in sort of these sort of temperatures, you'd want colder drinks perhaps, but there seems to be a lot of PG Tips tea bags boxes strewn about this place, which is indicative of whoever was in this place was indeed British and not native Spanish. Brits love PG tips. They love Tetley. I don't think that can be said for Spanish, but do let me know down below. Obviously, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that Spanish people drink PG tips tea, but I just find it interesting that we're talking about a British national going missing, and amongst their search, they come across this building that seems to have had at some point British people in it who were drinking tea, perhaps. But again, maybe this was a search station of some description at some point. You saw all the water bottles there. I did kind of think, is this potentially somewhere that someone's been held? You know, it almost looks like when you're watching these films, doesn't it? Where someone is held captive, you know, water, like all these water bottles in here, again, PG tips. They love their PG tips, whoever was in here. But, yeah, interesting. But again, we don't really have any evidence on this of anything nefarious, just a little bit of a strange one. But again, we're looking at all of the area. I think this is where Down the Rapids was filming at one point. Again, this huge elevation and the cactus. The interesting thing, what I also thought, is Jay had apparently spoken to them and said, oh yeah, he'd been bitten by a cactus or whatever. But what I find quite odd is you wouldn't rarely have had to go anywhere near the cactuses. In all of these shots, there is not a situation where you would have to go near them. So, you know, it's like you could walk around, you could go around that way, but why would you get cut by a cactus that you don't really have to go anywhere? That's almost like, you know, when you're trying to fabricate a story, and people, when they fabricate stories, they tend to overdo the details, because in their mind, the more details I give people, the more realistic this story is. You know, so that someone who is, and I'm not saying stories have been fabricated, I'm just saying that when you're given details and you're listening to the stories about Jay Slater and, oh, he's been bitten by a cactus, that is indeed indicative of, especially when you look at the facts, that there isn't really a situation where he would have had to have gone near them. There's plenty of room to maneuver around them and stay away from them. You know, you don't generally see all these people who are hiking this valley and they're all coming back saying, oh, fucking been bitten by a cactus again. Oh, fucking cactuses. I need to chop these cactuses down because you can't walk around without getting fucking caught by them. You know, but if you are somebody who are trying to fabricate a story and you're trying to add elements to make it, in your mind, seem more realistic, it does go hand in hand with, there's cactuses out there. If we say, look, he come back to us and said, you know, he'd hurt himself on a cactus, it gives it more realism. It gives more bite, when in reality, some stories are just fucking boring. And yeah, you, by adding your own elements, thinking that you're doing the story a favour, you're in fact doing completely the fucking opposite. Anyway, I digress. But again, I got, you know, I find it interesting that Warren is uploading this. This is a set of keys that were found, and we don't know what these keys are. That label that was on there, that said studio. We don't know if they're anything to do with Jay, whether they were his keys. That has not come out publicly. There's been nothing to suggest that they are connected with Jay, but there was a set of keys out there with studio written on the tag. And again, the undergrowth and everything. More sort of random little areas. This area here again. Even walking along here, do you know what I mean? It's not like whenever, and we saw this with Chris Tenerife, whenever they show like a walk where someone's walking or where Jay could have fell, like, around the area where Jay could fell, like even this, yes, there's precarious pieces to it, but there's also a safe place to walk. And this has been a consistent thing that we've seen. Wherever they're walking, yes, there is a precarious element to it, but there's also a safe alternative to it. You know, if Jay was walking along and instead of walking on this safe path, he decided, actually, I'd rather walk on this side of the fucking wall. And that provides the precarious nature of what could have potentially led to a fall. But walking along here, you ain't going to fall. And again, this is simply something that we consistently see. And that just adds to the, I don't understand how he fell when wherever we're walking, there is a safe alternative. You know, at what point does someone decide the safe alternative is not the way that I want to go? I want to go in the more precarious way. I think that's back to the start. Yeah. So yeah, that is the video that Warren put up, and you will see at the top here. I just put, "Dear Warren, you're obviously aware that there are some of us out there refusing to believe the narrative that is being pushed. Out of respect, however, if you want us to stop, please let us know." Some people might not agree with the fact that I've posted that on there, but I don't give a flying fuck. It gives Warren the opportunity to either respond or not. We know that he is following Wax Unfiltered on there. He certainly is, which I think is indicative of his acceptance of Wax covering the case. I don't think he would be following Wax if he did not or was not on the same path or mindset as what Wax was. But I'm giving him the opportunity. You know, if you want to stop, if you want me to stop and stop, I will stop. If Warren was to respond back to that and say, yes, please do stop, I wouldn't post another video. Flat out. Done, dusted. But there we go. Until then. But let me know what you think. Do you think it's interesting that Warren has indeed uploaded this video? Do you think it's indicative of he is still searching? What this is, to me, is indicative of someone who is saying to people, I am still searching. I am not done with this. And could he, in fact, be sending out some information that he feels could potentially help those or assist those in some way who are still looking for answers for him? Again, let me know down below. I'll catch you all later tonight in the live.